I didn't know we were gonna start with dirt faces. In the back room, which we're very on time. I know. In the back rooms, we're talking about starting with by doing like fat thumb dirt face. So
but I can't keep it because it hurt my neck because you have to like smush your whole like face back.
Actually a little painful, but we can do other dirt faces. Hello everyone, hi, welcome. I haven't streamed in forever, not on my channel, so it feels kind of weird. But it's good to be back. It's good to be doing the Ali and Renie show again. Having been away for a couple of weeks, doing all kinds of fun stuff like a convention and a little mini vacation I took afterwards, which is tons of fun. But now we're back. So welcome, everyone. And I hope you enjoyed the grand welcome we gave for you joining us on this return show with our very, very ladylike presentation. Cross-eyed, buck teeth. TC the Renie still streams. Yeah, I do. I'm just not going to stream as much. I mean, honestly, it gets in the way of my work too much. But I'll still stream, like especially this show and the creative block. Like I love doing those, and I'm still gonna promote books every once in a while. I'm not gonna stop streaming. That's not in my plans. But yeah, no. For a while, I was streaming almost every day. That's too much. That is too much. I have too much other stuff to do. Like I'm not getting enough of Fiendish done as it is right now. So yeah. Just pull back a little bit, but I'm not gonna stop. I'm not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. Don't worry. So yeah, if you guys are new, if anybody watching is new to this, if this is your first Ali and Renie show, this is a show where we talk about fantasy and writing and world building. Ali and I are both into that kind of stuff. Ali is a comic writer and also a prose book writer, and I am a comic book creator, artist, and writer. And we talk about everything that we love on this show. You can watch a playlist of our past episodes. It's in the description. We've got like tons of episodes to talk about all kinds of stuff, magic systems, maps. And Ali has made very beautiful presentations for a lot of the episodes as well, where she actually goes through and is like educational, which I'm not educational. I'm just here to say whatever. But Ali actually knows what she's talking about. So go watch those. And today we'll be talking about characters, our characters, and then we'll see where the discussion leads us.
Ding. Yes, we will.
Mm-hmm.
Ding.
Ding.
Thank you, Renie, for that amazing intro and letting us back into your chat's lives.
Yeah.
This is going to be a problem because I feel like we are out of practice. We are caught off guard.
I was trying to be like all professional and do a whole intro lead-in. Pretty good for
you did a good job.
Not streaming on my channel for a month, right, guys? That was pretty good. I do still have a bit of a cough because every time I need to start just like ODing on vitamin C before I go to any convention.
And magnesium and zinc.
I get conquered like about half of the time. Half of the times I go to, and I don't want to deal with this anymore. I hate it. I've been sick for like 2.5 weeks now. So yeah, it sucks. But so anyways, pardon if I just mute myself and cough, but that wasn't so bad. It's pretty good. We're professionals.
Yeah, probably vitamin D too, considering that like neither of us go outside.
Oh yeah, I do take vitamin D supplements, and some zinc, but I need to take more vitamin C. I just need to take everything because like if you sit in front of a computer and draw all the time and don't go outside and don't exercise much, you have like everything deficiency. Surprise! That's not how humans are supposed to function. Who knew? Amazing.
Well, say hi to the chat quick, and then we can get started on our narcissism. I mean, delivery of stuff for you, the chat.
Wait, what? Narcissism? Why? I mean, we're all about narcissism. Yes.
Talking about how awesome our characters are.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. I'll talk about how awesome my characters are all day. That's right. I love them. That's why they're in my comic. But yeah,
Damn right.
yeah.
And Renie likes to come from more of a comic thing because her fantasy is a comic. And then I come from more of the novel thing because my fantasy is a prose novel. So
True, correct. Billy Powermax was the first. Hello. Jolly Green, the show is today, indeed.
right now.
Yes, right now. We're live right
But
now.
it'll be tomorrow in 20 minutes. So it's both.
That's true. That's true.
But it'll be today still.
Yeah, I'm very very confused now. But no, not really. Yeah. We're live right now, so come back and join us, Jolly Green. Hello. There's Dean. Dean's been reading Blame. It's pretty sick. Yeah, Blame is an amazing manga, and I'm glad I have convinced you to read it because it's really, really great. Cam, hello. What's up? Hello, hello. Romy, thank you for posting the links. Also, down goes Solo. Travis, thank you for posting our links.
Thank you.
All the mods posting links to everything. And there's Ali. Hello, some person. We are super on time. I don't know what you're talking about. TC, hello there. Let's see. Doug, John DeVoiced. Jolly Green is back. Yes, hello. And let's see. Quiet Red Media is also there. And Hutzel, thank you for joining us. I think that's everyone. We've got a bunch of lurkers, but that's okay. Mark DeMuth, hello. Mark DeMuth says, Nina rules. Read number 2 earlier this week. I'm glad you like Nina. I love Nina too. Maybe I should pick her for my female character I was going to talk about. That was not the original plan, but who knows? Would that count? She's a cat. I can talk about a cat, right? No.
I mean, if you want to. My idea was we both talk about one boy and one girl character for this stream because we both have a lot of characters we could talk about. Our cast is quite extensive because we are, dare I say, proficient in world building.
Proficient. Yes.
I don't wanna say that we're masters.
I wouldn't call myself a master. I have a lot to learn, but I'm not bad.
We're definitely proficient though.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't suck.
And yeah, we don't suck. I feel like we have a good amount of material online on this whole thing to show that we do know what we're talking about. So that's good.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm personally the most amazing world builder or writer ever. Probably never will be, but we have been talking about this whole craft for like a year or two, so kind of have something to say.
Yeah, as I've said before, not everyone should be or needs to be Tolkien, so
no,
that's fine.
No, definitely, yeah. Honestly, I think it's best to approach world building your own way as well. I think there's too many Tolkien ripoffs, and I know, like, I created a fantasy language for my comic, and people will compare that to Tolkien. I'm like, I'm not trying to be Tolkien. Like, trust me, I can't be. I will never be Tolkien. I'll never be on his level. I just happen to also like languages, but also like he's a real linguist. I just built a fantasy thing for for fun, but it's kind of
the best.
Yeah,
the best idea, the best approach is to world build exactly what needs to be there and not much more. Because otherwise you're going to get stuck just doing a ton of world building and no actual writing. So
true. I agree. Some person says the Red Valkyrie Underground Art Auction. Yes. Another Red Valkyrie auction is coming up real soon. It's in 2 weeks. So everybody be there. I will be auctioning out my stuff. It'll be 2 Saturdays from now. As in next, not tomorrow. Or, yeah. But anyways, the 13th. You get it. There you go. Marumi says, 祝你早日康复. Thank you. Thank you very much. And that was a member chat. So thank you very much for being a member for 29 months. Much appreciated. One hero and one villain. That would be a cool idea, but I think, I don't know, I would save that for Fiendish, for my own comic, for our next character stream, because I haven't revealed my primary villains yet. But
and
after book 3 is out,
I would request that we save that as well, because I want to be able to pull up artwork so that there's a visual of my characters too, and it's not just me being like, hey guys, this is what he looks like, please pay attention. So, and I don't have artwork for every single character, so if we could put a pin in that until I have the artwork for all of the characters so that I can show off the things I would like to show off, that would be swell.
Makes sense. Yeah, I don't know, I debate about my approach to character reveals because I am super careful about spoilers. Like I think, you know, most writers will talk about, I have this or this upcoming in the story, and I keep most of that under wraps. I don't know if that's damaging or better, but I think my goal is I want you guys to have a certain experience as the mystery is revealed. That's important to me. So, that's why I have not revealed who the main villains are, but part of that will begin in the next book. So, yeah, we're going to do another character show, and it'll be a heroes and villains type of thing. It'll be good.
It will. And we'll be able to share with you how, maybe not recommend, but how we make our stuff and how tips and tricks and all that stuff.
Yeah, that would be swell. So, Scootram became a new member. Thank you so much. Thank you. Woo! I appreciate that. Woo! Quiet Red says they feel that. Have so many characters created but not revealed. Yeah, a lot of that as well. Oh, believe me, believe me, I am so excited for some characters in Fiendish. Like, it eats away at me every day. I cannot wait to get to certain story points because I have everything planned out. I have all the designs, not just their personalities. Like, I can't wait to draw them. Oh, it's killing me, but I have to take my time. I have to pace it because it's the experience. It'll be worth it.
And no, even though I've seen a lot of it, I'm not going to tell anybody anything, so don't even try.
That's right. I don't even know. Well, thank you, Ali, for being a trustworthy friend, keeping my deep, dark secrets. Hi, John's Longbox. What's up? Hello, Snuggie. Hello, what's up? I guess we can just jump into it. Oh, when we're gonna release the next book, it'll be sometime next year. Yeah, I'd rather finish more of the work before launching it. It'll be next year. All right. Do you want to get started? Because I don't have my thing pulled up yet. So
your thing pulled up.
Yeah, I was like, oh, we're gonna talk about characters and have the art, and it's I have
Snuggie's trying to get me in trouble. He's like, Ellie spilled the beans to me. You fucking liar. Lies.
I trust Allie. Allie wouldn't spill the beans.
Do you know how everyone can know that's a lie? I don't even remember.
Well, that bodes well. Wait, the one time where I did basically just go over like my whole plot, you were also very sick and tripped out on kava and mostly asleep. So that I don't hold it against you for not remembering anything.
But you have shown me like your charts and all your little thingies. I've seen all that. But my brain doesn't retain it in that way.
That's great. I see that my characters are very memorable for Ali. She's a big fan of Fiendish.
Your characters are really memorable. I can't remember what's going to happen. Like,
it's fine.
Your charts and your things, like, they don't stick in my brain. I remember reading them and I give you my feedback and I'm like, that's really cool. That's really interesting. You've put a lot into this and all that stuff. But like, I don't know. My brain just doesn't retain the future at all.
No, I get it. It's like, it's just a bunch of numbers and I haven't even shown you the art for the characters. So like, why would you remember that?
But I know what's happened. And I know so far. So really, I know almost no more than you do, chat.
Yeah, well, no, she knows a little bit. She knows a little bit more.
A little bit.
Yeah, she does. I don't believe she's forgotten everything. Hey, John's Longbox says only 95K more for him to fly me to New York to make up Cosme in a role-playing game. Well, John, I might be going to New York sometime this year. Fun fact. Maybe we'll talk more about that. Ding! More to be announced soon. I love going to New York.
I just almost asked you. It's the dumbest fucking question that I would have ever asked in my life.
What were you gonna ask? You're not gonna say that and not say what you're gonna ask.
I was gonna say, is Baltimore in New York? No, it's not Ali. Loser.
Is Baltimore in New York?
Retard. I'm tired. I was in the sun today.
Oh my god.
I know.
Well, it's not.
I'm broken.
Yes, near Long Island, indeed.
So. I know. Wow, Ali. Frickin'. I know it's in Maryland because the second thing my brain did was say, no, Ali, it's in Maryland.
Yeah. It's like, what do they call it? The tri-state? It's like DC, Maryland, Baltimore, and what the fuck else? I don't know. Anyways, it's all in a big clusterfuck right there. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to Baltimore.
You're wanting me to start, so...
Yeah, let's go.
My question is... I don't know who to talk about, though. I hadn't fully decided. Okay, if we're doing one girl and one boy, I only have one girl's artwork done, so I'll go with the girl.
Okay, let's start with the girls. Sure. Yeah, and that's perfect.
We will get you good pizza and Chinese food. Oh, you know what Renie loves more than anything? Chinese food. She hasn't had enough of it in her life.
No, I haven't. I really need... I was going to make fun of American Chinese food, but New York Chinese food is actually like real Chinese food because there's a ton of Chinese people there. So, no.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it'll be great. No, we should definitely meet up if I go there. Baltimore sucks, though. Yeah, there's a convention there. That's why I thought I might be going, but who knows? All right, anyways.
Solo says, do I consider my Pit of Nightmares a character? No.
But you should.
Why?
Oh, because it would be funny. Aha, I know her.
You do know her.
Yeah.
Do you remember her name?
Sajal.
Good job. Renie's a better friend than me.
I remember a couple of characters. Then your wizard is Remendalvier.
Yeah, but you say it weird.
Oh, I don't remember how you say it. I see the letters in my head.
It's okay. It's okay. Neither of us are really present right now.
No. Oh, sorry. I have a couple of super chats. Pardon me.
Do your super chats.
I shall. The Wavebler for $10. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Indie creators like you are really inspiring. Oh, thank you. I'm working on my own indie comic and wondered if you have tips for the writing and drawing process. Keep being great and awesome, Renie. Thank you, the Wavebler. You keep being great and awesome. Keep on creating. Hey, I know it's a hard path. I've been doing indie comics. I've been at this actually for like 10 years, okay? I know most people following me on this channel have only known about what I've been doing since Fiendish and have probably only been following me for a couple of years, but I've been like trying to make comics for a long time. I know it's hard, but that's the key. Keep at it. And as for writing and drawing tips, I think following this show and also following the creative block where we talk about the creative process. That's my other show, but it's a different format than my show with Ali here. And we are full of little tips and fun discussions about creating comics. So hope to see you around. Thank you.
Like John said, Ali, you're invited too. Great. I'm the afterthought friend. That's really nice of you. Thank you.
That's not what. Aw. Well, you weren't originally gonna go.
It's all right. I'm used to it. It's fine.
You're not an afterthought to me, Ali. You're one of my bestest friends.
So, if I'm allowed to give some writing tips, my biggest writing tip is to read a lot. If you read a lot, you will be able to write. You will, most of the time. Good tip. Read a lot. Read everything. Don't even just read in your genre. Read everything across the board that sounds interesting. Read stuff that's right there. Read a random paperback that you find on the bus. Like, literally read everything, because it doesn't matter what you read, you'll always find something that will inspire you in some way, whether it's to inspire you to write something like that because it works for you, or whether you read something and you're like, wow, this is crap. I don't ever want my writing to be like this. So yeah, read a lot.
True. Very good tip. Yeah, that is yeah, I've heard you mention that before, and I thoroughly agree.
Read the back of the shampoo bottle. Literally, I've read everything in my whole house. There's not a single word on anything that I have not read. I read magnets and friggin' instruction manuals, shampoo bottles, friggin' everything. The backs of the refrigerator. For real.
That's the key. Read all the instruction manuals and the backs of your refrigerators. The same goes for drawing, honestly. Draw everything, everywhere, all the time, constantly. That's how you get good. There's no way around it. Just draw a lot.
Get good. That's what Renie's saying.
Good. Get good. That's what I'm saying.
That's how we talk.
yeah, that's exactly how we talk. Mr. Burger for 5. Thank you. Hello, Irene. You're still one of my favorite weirdos. Oh, thank you. Looking forward to your next book. Well, thank you. You are one of my favorite weirdos, too. I appreciate the super chat very much. And I'm also looking forward to my next book. It'd be great if it was being done faster, but, you know, what can you do? I am going for quality over rushing it. Yeah.
Quality over rushing it?
Yeah.
Who knew? So, this character, as Renie said, she is called Sajal. Sometimes they call her Sajal of the Wilds, or the cook who cannot taste. I'm trying to... Wow, it's not easy to, like, condense your character, but I'm going to try without over-explaining a bunch of other stuff, okay? So bear with me, and if anyone has questions, then I will answer them probably. So basically, her mother was a feral woman living in caves in the forest. When she became pregnant, she started craving the flesh of magical creatures. But when eating things like fairies and trolls wasn't enough, she started kidnapping slave children who had magical capabilities so that she could eat them. And the way that you can tell that these slaves have magical capabilities is because there's an entire race of albinos in my story, and they are all magic capable. Just naturally, it comes really easily. But they get lobotomized so that they don't develop those skills at all. So anyway, she kidnaps the kids, not because she has a thing about kids or anything, but because they're just small and she can do it like quickly. And the flesh, basically the magical flesh, becomes like a drug to her. You know, it's like meth or cocaine, but like fantasy. So once her daughter is born, and I actually, one of the first scenes that I wrote about Sajal is actually a scene about her mother, where I made it kind of feel like, oh, she's rescuing this little boy, but instead she takes him to the forest and kills him with her bare hands and like eats his tongue out and stuff.
Well, damn.
It's probably one of the darkest scenes that I've ever written, and weirdly I had a lot of fun writing it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Playing with the wording and the descriptions. It wasn't because of what was happening, it was because of like the skills that needed to happen. Anyway. Anyway, once her daughter was born, she realized that because of all of the magical flesh she had eaten, yeah, the book gets a little dark. Because of all the magical flesh that she ate while she was pregnant, her daughter now has a little bit of magical capabilities herself. So she grows up helping her mother kill to feed that addiction. Sometimes she gets her fairies, but most of the time she has to go and steal slaves and kill them so her mom can eat them, because otherwise her mom attacks her. And you know, she feels a lot of empathy for her mom because her mom's basically a wild woman. She was born with because she was born magic, her brain isn't feral like her mom's is. So she teaches herself, you know, to go into town and get things that they need, and so that she, you know, even down to doing her hair and stuff, she has to teach those things to herself. But she feels guilty for what she has to do, but she also feels like she has to protect her mom because she's kind of like, oh, it's not her fault, you know? No, it's not like how a vampire needs blood. She doesn't need it to live. She's just straight up addicted. So she helps her mother kill to feed the addiction. It keeps her mom alive. It keeps her calm. But also it helps her mother avoid eating her.
That's good. That's a useful thing.
Yeah, so in many ways it is self-preservation, self-defense. I wanted to play with the idea when I was developing her character of and maybe it's a little bit based from my own life, but I wanted to play with the idea of the child of a drug addict who has to do all these things that, you know, a normal child doesn't really have to do, but as a child of a drug addict, you don't even realize that it's not normal. So that's what I wanted to play with. Basically, and because of her upbringing, she lives kind of anxiously. She feels constantly kind of helpless, even though she is a killer. So in an attempt to memorialize her victims, she starts sewing their teeth into her clothes and even her weapon, which is basically like a club. So yeah, when I was making her, there it is. Okay. When I was making Sajal, I also wanted to touch on how sometimes we can do horrible things and it's not entirely our fault because we are victims of circumstance and we don't know what we're doing sometimes, especially in a world like mine where, you know, law and order isn't exactly law and order. It's a very corrupted land because the ruler rules in a corruptive way. So yeah, and then when I was developing her look, I kind of wanted her to look like she was wild but had a touch of civilization. I modeled her after, well, this guy Killbox. You can find him on Twitter. He's, or girl, I actually don't know. Killbox lives in South Africa and did all of the artwork for my characters. And basically, I wanted her to look like this one actress that I really like, who is like this really skinny. Most of my characters that aren't the albinos are like variations of brown and black. So she's a woman who is actually like black, and I gave her dreadlocks that she actually takes care of, as opposed to like the crazy messed up dreadlocks her mom has, because it's really just a clump of hair. So I wanted it to be sort of like feral meets civilized. And she's very quiet and very much just wants to go do. So she sees a problem and she just wants to solve it right away and then go back to doing her own life. When the action really starts with her, basically my wizard that you mentioned, Rimdilvir, he appears and he says, I know how to heal your mom's problem. I don't call it addiction in the book because I felt like that was too real world. But he says, I know how to heal your mom, but the payment is going to be that you have to do this impossible task for me, basically. So, yeah.
Right. All right. Yeah.
Did anyone say anything?
Oh yeah. I started a bunch of comments, but
okay.
I quite enjoy Sajal's backstory. It's a very well thought out character. Your artist did a great job, by the way. Do you have their Twitter to shout out or whatever else?
Yeah, I can find it. Let me go get it.
Stinky face is, they're the stinkiest of the audience. That goes well with the avatar. It's okay. I love you all the same. I love all my fans.
He or she just told me that they'll be able to start working on more artwork. They do like load sharing and stuff down there, so half the time he can't work because they don't have electricity. So
crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, South Africa. Yeah, let's not become like that. That would be great. Let's see. Are those teeth on your club? That's answered.
Yeah.
John asks, where can I read your stuff? So Ali's link tree is linked in the description. But that's where everyone can go, right?
It's faster just to go to sanguislibris.com net. Right there.
Okay.
I typed it in the chat.
There you go.
People share my link tree, but I pretty much have everything on my actual website now that Renie very kindly let me get help from her.
It sounds like I allowed you to have a website or something. You built it. I just gave a couple of pointers. Whatever.
You made it work.
I did fix a few things, but it's very nice.
Yeah,
so.
And it is teeth. They are teeth from her victims. I thought he did a good job. He put like a lot of I thought her face had the appropriate amount of like what's it called when you disassociate. I thought her face had the appropriate amount of disassociation in it. And then she's got this scar from her first victim that scratched her face.
Yeah, I think it looks like a very well thought out design where all the details kind of tie into who she is, and that's when you know it's a good design. So.
Yeah. Oh, and my artist actually, I kind of let him play a little bit because I've found that the art tends to be better if you give a basic description and then kind of let the artist do what they want to do. And so I thought it was cool. He even added like little like magical creature tiny
skulls.
Yeah,
that's great. I love it. I love it. Yeah, when artists like put thought into
and
what
like
they're
this
drawing.
weird goblin-y skull too. I was like, okay, that's cool. Like I don't hate it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, all the tiny fairy skulls. That's good. That's my favorite part. Little mini skulls. Yay!
Yeah, like incisors. He didn't just do, the mandible type stuff. Not mandible.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
whatever
he did a good job.
Very nice. Hey, Dave Williams, what's up? Thanks for joining us today. The amazing Brohawk Williams. We're talking about our characters, being a little self-indulgent today, but I hope you will find it entertaining nonetheless. Thanks for being here.
Yes, Wolfler.
Hello.
They call them fairies. Did Ali demand the chaps, or was that the artist? They're not chaps.
Chaps? What's chaps?
It's a skirt with like pieces of leather around it. They're not chaps.
Oh, those are just like cowboy pant things, right? Pant covering things.
But what's behind this is a skirt, so.
Oh, okay.
It's like yeah, it's not chaps.
There's someone in chat called Bum Appreciator. I'd pull up your comment, but your icon's a little risky. But thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you in chat. You're all awesome.
Some person, the leather is not human. She doesn't wear skin.
That would be something else.
She wouldn't be able to because her mom eats it all.
Wow. All right. Well, yeah, the teeth would be the only thing that's left.
Pretty much.
Let's see. And
just imagine like her mom like cracking the little bones of a fairy and just like sucking the eyeballs out of the skull and stuff like that.
Oh my god. So feral. Truly feral.
Yeah.
The wave blur, I do see your second super chat. I will get to it. We'll circle back around to that about marketing. Very good question. So I'm holding on to that. So that's answered. Where do I read your stuff from John's Longbox? Magic is genetic in your world.
Yes.
Do you want to cover that?
It is. We've talked about it before, but yes, the short answer is basically yes. Magic is genetic in my world.
Cool. I know there's more to it, but we do have episodes talking about magic, and we're going to have more episodes talking about magic. So yeah, stay tuned for those.
And I have
What,
on my website, I have a whole like infographic because Renie inspires me to go beyond my for the longest time. I just keep everything in my head. I have like scattered notes and stuff like everywhere. Renie hates my organization. For the longest time, it was just over here and over here, and I remember everything. But I was like, man, it would probably be good for marketing if I get some of this out so people can understand it without listening to me go on. So I do have on my website also an explanation of how the magic works and all that stuff. So
cool. Yeah, it's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
Glad I've convinced you.
She is actually magic capable, but in my world, if you use magic, you basically sacrifice excuse me, something else that is inherent about you. And you, part of what you're doing is you are harnessing a certain emotion. And so the more you use it, the more you're going to lose something else. So she has reached Ure Onehe, which is fear. She uses fear. That is her primary emotion. And to reach that level, she has to be able to manipulate terror. And so she can do that very well. What that means is that she went above Arete, which means that she was able to manipulate anger, which happened when she was a child, and I go over all that. But she advanced beyond that and was able to manipulate patience. So now she's kind of stuck in this place where she can manipulate terror, but she cannot manipulate confidence. If she can ever reach that level where she can manipulate her confidence, then she could move up to the next one. But basically, like, her main quote is that she's plagued with tremors of uncertainty. And I have that all on my website. But yeah, that should be able to tell you a little more about her as well. See, Renie, you've taught me so much.
I don't know if I've taught you anything, but I'm glad you like my website.
Well,
You're
that's
a little
what
inspired by it, which is great. Yay.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's
everyone
why
should have a website for their work.
Yeah. That's why I called the magic is why I called her the cook who cannot taste, because as she continues to use her magic, she actually loses her sense of taste, but also of like touch. So
interesting.
And she has to like, she doesn't like it when her mom eats raw, so she like tries to cook it. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, sounds very, very well thought out. Hail Delore likes your magic system. Yeah, I think the whole emotion and you have the colors tied to it. I'm excited to see how that will play out and how that'll read.
Well, and if it were to be put to video to I want to say video, film, whatever, it would look it looks a little different for everyone. So, but for her, it's kind of like little it takes the color form of orange, and it kind of like moves across her skin like the patterns of her skin. So if you look at your fingers, it would look as though your fingerprint was like vibrating orange, and then she can manipulate that. So that's what it is for her.
Okay.
For each one, it's different. So like for my sailor, it kind of looks like dripping, sparking water.
Interesting. Cool. Yeah.
I didn't
I
want
like
it
that
to
you
all
thought
look
of
the same.
I like that you thought of the visual element too. Because not to get too into magic systems, but I specifically designed my magic system to be like very outward and blasty and flashy.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I'm like, oh, it's a comic, but I like how yours is subtle, but there's still a very well thought out visual representation.
Well, and I talk about how it smells and how it tastes as well. Um, just because I wanted to make sure it like tapped into everything. But I can also show you who I had him base her off of. That's her.
Yeah. Someone was asking about. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
don't know who
Candace
that is.
McClure. Yeah, she's a really good actress. I really like her. So I said, "Hey, I want her to be the person who does this because in her acting, she's got a really intense vulnerability that I liked, but she can also be like a little crazy. But she's angular. So in my mind, you could believe that she's lived in the woods, you know. So
Mm.
if it were a movie, I would be like, I want Candace McClure to play her. But in the meantime, that's who I had him base the character off of. But I found some crazy picture of like these really cool dreadlocks.
Cool. Yeah,
So
I can
yeah.
see that. She's got the facial structure. Um, let's see. Ooh, that's brutal. I don't know anything about Eternal Sonata, but well, that
Hmm.
sounds like fun to read about.
Hmm.
Who drew the character? Who drew it? That has been answered. So there you go. Why don't we circle back around to the wave blur for a $2 super chat? Thank you so much. Also, how do you go about marketing your work? Okay. So, my
Wait,
thing,
how
marketing
does
is.
Rainey go about marketing? Because she doesn't do it like anyone else does.
Wait, I don't?
No, you do it better.
Oh, thank you. I don't know. I think, okay. Well, the truth is, a lot of comics people, especially just artists in general, are terrible at marketing. And I don't think I'm that good at it. But what I do is look at not comics people and look at what they're doing and copy that. So, having a website, putting yourself out there is very important. I mean, I think you would hear tips when I was asking, well, how do you market yourself, blah, blah, blah. I would hear stuff like, oh, buy Instagram or Facebook ads, which I've done those. Hasn't really worked out for me, but maybe it works for other people. I think what's worked for me is I've just been on the internet for a really long time. I've built up a decent enough, like relatively speaking, I have still a very small audience, but decent enough audience just from being on the internet since I was literally 14. Like my work goes back to when I was 14, and that's how long I've been trying to build an audience. Um, and as for marketing my comic, it's figuring out how to pitch it, figuring out how to talk about it in a compelling way, latch onto what people will like about your work and your comic, and start with like small streams. Like streaming is a great way to talk about your comic, even if that's not your primary mode of marketing. Because recently I've been trying to do more conventions, and I've realized a lot of people who do indie comics aren't even in the YouTube space. They just go to conventions. So
Mm-hmm.
doing YouTube is only one way of marketing your indie comics. It's not the only way. So I still like being on YouTube and I'll still continue streaming, but I want to branch out to be in more shows. I want to get my comic in stores. But honestly, it's just getting out there, talk to everybody, go directly to your local comic store. The most important thing is having good work. So have the product, but talk to people, figure out how to pitch your book, how to make it sound interesting, and just talk to everybody. Go to conventions and just sell to everybody. Go to your local comic book shop and ask them if they want to carry your book. Go on YouTube and ask everybody, will they have you on? Can I talk about my comic? And that's how you get out there and build something from the ground up. So that's kind of how I go about it. But of course, some other things that I do, because honestly, I thought they were fun, but I think they probably worked really well in my favor, is the website, which I started building just because I thought it was cool. And I wanted to have a world building Bible for Fiendish that's online, that's sort of a resource center, like a center of operations away from the comic. So when I don't have an active campaign, people can go to the website, read about the characters. There's a blog there. So all kinds of cool stuff. I'll pull up the website in due time. But I think honestly that has helped a lot with my marketing because it looks good. It shows people that this is a serious endeavor. And I've spent a lot of time making the website look good and professional. Being professional and presenting yourself professionally, it's also sorely lacking in comics. So I try to aim for that. And there's also an email sign up on my website that's always there. So I have an email sign up, not just when I have a campaign, not just when I have an Indiegogo campaign pre-launch, but permanently on the website. So I'm always gathering emails, and honestly, having a good email list is very, very useful. So that's my tips. What about you?
I agree.
Okay.
The biggest thing is talking about it a lot all the time. And that means to everyone. I sold my books to real estate agents, to grocery store clerks, like because I just never shut up, to people at garage sales. I find ways to bring it up, and I have cards that I have with me all the time. Oh, my purse is over there. But that's what I do. I just talk about it constantly, because you would be surprised how many people are not even like online. Like,
no,
how many people
most people
don't have
are
Twitter?
not online. Most
Yeah,
people
how
have
many
no
people
idea
don't
what's
have
going on
Twitter?
Twitter and YouTube. Yeah.
Don't even know what crowdfunding is. Like,
Yeah.
just most people don't know. I had
Mhm.
people,
Agreed.
what is it, 2 years ago now or something, that were in this homeschool group I'm in, who had no idea that the Johnny Depp trial was happening. So they normies just don't know. So
yeah,
you're not going to get everything you need with just online. And I would say conventions are a super good place to do it, because you're going to be interacting with people who are there on purpose to find new stuff to fandom about.
For comics, and that's where, honestly, I think the majority of comics fans, they go to conventions to look for things to, like, what they're interested in. A lot of cons, the audience goes there, they already know who they're gonna find, but honestly, it doesn't matter. Like, you're surrounded by comics people. It's a good way to branch out and reach a new audience. Of course, the internet is also useful, so definitely market on the internet and
Yeah,
do
don't not do the
streams.
internet, but don't neglect real life.
No, real life is important. Real life shall not be neglected. The end. That's what I'm trying to do more.
We've told random
but
people,
I'm
just
trying.
like you and I just hanging out. We've told people.
Yeah. No, like I will bring up Fiendish all the fucking time at a drop of the hat to complete strangers. You know me. So
And you don't even have to go crazy with like your cards either. I have these little cards that I use. This one is for my kids book. But I just straight up put the artwork from my kids book on this tiny little card like a psycho.
Oh, that's funny.
And I was like, oh, look, it's by Corey Barton. And it just has, the name of it. And I did it all, and I've got the thing on there. But what I did was I just got the paper ones that you can get from the store and made the design for free and just printed it out so that I don't have to order them all the time. So I have nice ones too that are like pretty, but for the ones where I'm just talking every day and I just want to have something to hand out, I've got these as well. There we go. That's like
Oh,
just my name and my like where you can find me in general. Because the ones for the kids book I give to like people with kids. Um, and if I give them my actual website, I'm a little nervous that they'll be like concerned.
right.
So
Probably.
yeah, the quick answer is you're marketing all the time now. Now you're a marketing machine, and everyone wants to know about it. You got to act like everyone does. I
Yeah.
have a T-shirt that says "Ask me about my book."
Oh,
It's horrible.
that's a good idea. I should get that shirt as well. I mean, I'm basically a walking "Don't shut up about Fiendish" machine. Hey, look, even here I've got Fiendish. I will not shut up about this comic. But yeah, turn on, especially if you're an artist, because artists are all introverts. Turn on your marketing brain. It's a whole different part of your brain that you literally have to learn to build. But do it, because you know
Yeah.
what? It's just a sad part of how the industry is. If you're indie, nobody else is going to do it for you. So if you want your comics out there, you can't wait for the attention to come. You have to go get the attention, and you can do it. So do it. Do it.
Do it.
Oh
And
yeah, here are my cards.
eventually you'll start to, yeah, those are her nice cards. They're pretty. Eventually
All
what you'll
right.
do is you'll start to notice that most people ask the same like 10 questions. And so you'll have memorized like a mini FAQ, like a mini FAQ in your head. That's why on, comic crowdfunding sites, the first uh the first sentence is always like, this is my book. It has this many pages that will be in color. Like, because that's the kind of stuff that everyone wants to know. So people will ask the same questions. Make sure you have an elevator pitch, or else people's eyes are gonna glaze over. And make it like 2 sentences. Memorize 2 sentences real fast that you can just say, and try them out on people, because
Yeah,
your first 2 sentences are gonna suck.
you gotta definitely. It takes time to build up to that, but the start. Uh, this is what I was. Oh, I was trying to circle back around to this with streaming and doing shows. Uh, I guess whether you're streaming or doing shows, it helps you build up that elevator pitch, because you have to test it on people, and not just your friends and family, but in real life. So go out there. Um, like when I started out, I was terrible. I was like, my fantasy story, blah, blah, blah. And like I started going on and on about a story, and I'm like, no, this is terrible. Like it was too long. I tried to boil it down into an elevator pitch, but the elevator pitch wasn't good. And actually, I don't even do the elevator pitch anymore. I just tell people it's a fantasy mystery story. If you like stuff like Vinland Saga or
Mm-hmm.
Tolkien's work, if you really like deep world building, you're going to be really into this. I built a whole fantasy world, even a constructed language. So check it out. Here's the website. And usually people see the art and they hear about the constructed language, that hooks them, because I realized, okay, if they like dark fantasy, and if they like mystery and they like comics, they like my art, which I don't suck, I know my art is good, then they will check it out. Like I don't need to go on and on talk about Casimir's backstory, all the demons. That actually doesn't work for me. So you figure out like what people want to hear.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Having this is the genre that it is
Yeah,
in, and if you like this genre, you will probably like this. That's a
right.
good point. That
Making those
that will
connections
probably
works a
get
lot.
that will probably get you more attention.
Yeah. And I was avoiding, I don't know why, but at first I was afraid, and you can probably tell with Fiendish 1, I was afraid of getting too deep into the world building. I was like, I had all the world building, but I was afraid of showing people too much of the fantasy stuff, too much of the constructed language. I thought that would scare people away. I don't know why, that was kind of stupid of me. But on the plus side, that means Fiendish kind of starts out dripping the world building pretty slow. So it's honestly easy for normies to get into, because if you've never read fantasy, you can still get into the book because I don't pile everything on. But I wouldn't mention Nanarsa. I would add it on as like after we've been talking about the comic for a while. And then someone finally told me, honestly, very recently, that, dude, Irene, do you notice people's eyes light up when you mention you built a language for your comic? And I'm like, oh, do they? They're like, yeah, you fucking idiot. Like, just
Yeah.
mention that. So that's what I'm gonna sell it on more. That's, apparently that helps. I mean, I'm glad it does because it took a lot of time. But here, you got to figure this stuff out. It takes time. Fear is a mind killer. Yeah, well,
Fear is the little death.
Yeah, it's like when you're trying to, and well, fear is the mind killer. That is a great quote. But you're trying to like not be too overly nerdy, so you're trying to boil things down. You have to figure out what to actually boil it down to. People love the passion. That is true. I think that's more that's more a factor than just, people love constructed fantasy languages, which I think everybody should love constructed fantasy languages. But if they can see, here's I think a good approach. Whatever you can say that will show people how much you love your project, go that route. I think that's really it, because that is more compelling to me, and I think more compelling to most people than, wow, a really cool superpower or a really cool setup, like a totally brand new high concept that's never been seen before. If the person I'm talking to is just absolutely in love with what they're making, that matters more, especially if it's an indie book. Like, you're talking to the person creating it. That's a great opportunity. Show them how passionate you are about your creation and find out what to say to get that across quickly. I think that'll be a good pitch.
Yeah, you can't be bored when you're talking about it, because that'll translate into people thinking that it's probably boring.
Yeah.
People were asking for our pitches. I haven't had to do it in a while, but basically it's a dark fantasy with magic about a wizard who assembles a troop of warriors to defeat a corrupt ruler. That's
Lovely.
my one sentence pitch. Usually that gets people saying like, oh, really? What's so dark about it? Or, wow, what kind of magic? What's so corrupt about her? That's usually what happens. But the question I get asked more often than not is, where can I read it? And
nice.
I hate that question, because I have to be like, well, it's not done yet, but you can read samples.
Well, it's good that you're marketing it, early before it's done. There you go.
Yeah, well, because I can explain too. Like, look, if I release it to nobody, and it's just there, then it's there, and I now have to sell it. But I'm like, I'm building up excitement. I want people to be interested in it as well. So, yeah, and Dean's right. He has a suit made of ghosts. That's what he says about the embrace.
Perfect. That is actually the embrace.
Yeah, it hurts at first because you're like, this is my baby. I've poured a lot into this. How can I possibly juice this down to something palatable that I can just say? But you do it.
It's hard because you're trying to also, you have to leave out so much, but you learn that, hey, if this is what gets people interested in it, it's fine. I think I don't even do my elevator pitch anymore, like I mentioned, but if I were to say, and it's also been a while, Fiendish is my fantasy mystery story that follows Casimir, who is a young man that had his hometown destroyed by mysterious demons long ago. and these mysterious demons years later have resurfaced. So he takes it upon himself in the first book of my comic to find the truth behind these demons' origins. And when he does get to the bottom of their origin point, we will encounter a world-changing mystery. And go to fiendishcomic.com to find out more. So that's it. And there's so much you have to like cut out, but I think generally my struggle is there's a lot of stuff that I can't say yet. So
Yep.
I think mentioning the language and world building ties in better, but but yeah, that is the general premise. Demon hunting.
Hello, lore said, I'm very simple, lol. Just give me magic, gore, and awesome characters. Well, then you would love The Rotting Crown with a cover by Dean James.
You would also love Fiendish, with permanent covers now available on the fiendishcomic.com website.
See,
we ship immediately.
You gotta just order get now. In the habit of saying it over and over and over again, and eventually it just
order now, friends.
Becomes
order now, friends.
Natural. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just constantly ask people to buy your stuff. Yeah. Buy my books. Buy my books.
Yeah. And like I said, I sold Egg Beater to this middle-aged female real estate agent who had never bought a comic before. But she was like, that sounds funny. I want an apron. And I was like, well, boy, do I have something cool for you.
Boy, do you have aprons. That's awesome. You never know. You never know who will be interested in your work. It's like I don't know. It's like when you're at a convention, honestly, it's always a toss-up. Like people that I'll have a lot of people. So Fiendish is very marketable to people that play tabletop games because I play a lot of Pathfinder. It's my only hobby. And because I don't have time. And so usually I try to I when I'm talking to people, I'll mention I'm really influenced by tabletops, and I stat out all my characters, and the trading cards for the campaigns have all the Pathfinder stats. You can be ported into D&D if you want to. So that usually gets people, but you just never know. I'll have somebody that has never read fantasy and they'll just pick up Fiendish because they like the style. So always never assume. Always try to sell your comic. Put your all into it.
Yeah.
A few more comments. Let's see. Kaz is a prick. I like an angry leader. Casimir is a prick. And Dango Celeste, do you make sure to say Casimir over young man? I try to say Casimir. I think that's better to give him a name because it's just one name. If it's too many names in your pitch, and I'm like, Casimir, and then the demons are this or that name, and Ragna and Iskal, and Arvos is the continent, and then they go to Thalfrin, and the story starts in Alstad. Too many names, but I personally think giving a name to my main character, that's more personable in a pitch. Just one name.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, the reason they call it an elevator pitch is literally because it's designed to be said in the time that you're inside an elevator to the people that you're in an elevator with. So
yeah,
and I've done that too. There was I went down to, where was I? I don't even remember where I was. I think Orlando or something. And I was in an elevator with a bunch of people. And this guy just starts telling me his life story about how he was in town because he has like cancer in his heart. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, and he's telling me that. He's like, so, what do you do? And so I told him, and he was like, oh, wow, do you have like a card? And I was like, yeah, sure. But my stuff's kind of dark. And he's like, that's okay. Like, I read dark stuff to kind of escape the real darkness of my life. And I was like, man, okay. Like,
dang.
Well, have I got something for you?
Yeah,
that was kind of crazy, like, because he brought it up. So I was just like, well, I'm sorry to hear about your heart cancer.
Like, yeah, jeez.
Yeah, it's yeah.
You never know who will be interested. And honestly, even just like regular people who never read comics, if you're the creator and you're talking, if you're like just gushing to them about it, most people will love it. Like, Don't be afraid. Figure out something to say that is short and sweet and won't be like too rambling. Yeah, you can do it.
And not to pimp my channel too much, but I do have on my channel my hack for making the short and sweet condensed version. It's basically it's also called the Pixar writing prompt, but you can use it to set up your little synopsis, your elevator pitch, because it reduces everything down to 3 sentences, and it perfectly. And you can use it also to expand upon and create an outline. That's like my secret formula is that. So I have a video that I did on it in my writing hacks series. So if anyone wants to do that, it's there.
Check it out.
Yeah, and I told some person shared my Wattpad, but I want people to know I'm phasing out my Wattpad because people started complaining that Wattpad makes you make an account to read on there now. So because of Renie, who is over there, not over there, I am able to now phase out Wattpad and put all of the samples directly onto my website. So you can go there instead. And I'm probably just going to delete the Wattpad.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, I am glad I could help.
I think it's probably your turn if all the questions about my character were answered.
we've been going on a while. Yeah, but it's, it's the format of the show. We'll talk with chat. Pretty relaxed. Yep. Pretty relaxed. I got my Viking. Yeah, especially today, because I am a mess. But whatever. I got this on Amazon. Just search on Amazon. It was like $30 or something. I love it.
Thank you very much, some person.
Somebody asked if pardon me. Oh, one of the butt accounts, the 2 butt accounts today, asked if Fiendish had any prominent derrieres. And speaking of prominent derrieres, I will segue into my character for today.
Dun, dun, dun. Really quick though, I did just get a question, so I'm going to answer it really fast. No TC said, "Ali, how does your character deal with the guilt that she has to do these evil things for her mother?" I sort of answered that. She puts all the teeth from the victims onto her, and sometimes they're little tiny skulls, onto her outfit and her weapon to sort of memorialize them in her own like weird little way. So, yeah, that's how she deals with it.
All right, she deals with by killing them and then feeling bad about it.
Yeah, but she's not forgetting them. Their bones are not just like forgotten messes in the forest. She can say like, "Oh, this one was from this thing that I took." Like, that's how she does it. She was raised by an addict. She's a little, so yeah.
Yeah, I get it. All right. I understand.
Sorry. Mikes? Your turn.
No, it's not. Douglas Mikes for $2. Happy Friday, everybody! Thank you for the super chat and happy Friday. Yeah. Speaking of ass, segue, perfect segue, most amazing segue ever. Where the fuck is my window? There we go. Dun dun dun. So, if you go on fiendishcomic.com, I have my core group, all their character profiles up on here, so you should check that out because it's awesome. But yeah, look at this. I'll zoom in a little bit. I have little introduction blurbs and their personalities, and I even have mini stats, just like their age and height and all that stuff. But there you go, little tidbit. You can find out more about my core characters. I have this weird structure to my story. It's not really weird. I just been like, it's not. I have one main character, but kind of 4 protagonists because I wanted to tackle the subject matter of the themes of Fiendish from specifically those 4 points of view, excluding, the antagonists or antagonists. So that's how I structured it. And I've kind of got this like, oh, there's two males, 2 females, and it's also it happened. It kind of happened naturally, but they also each have their seasons. Like they each have their own seasons. They kind of have their own directions. Like Cosmere's winter, Iskall is autumn, Ragna is summer, Yomi is spring, but nighttime. Anyways, doesn't matter. But yeah, thematically speaking, that's what I'm doing. But here you go. Go to fiendishcomic.com/characters. And today, for my character, I will be talking about Ragna. Now, I also just did a video introduction of her, so I think I can play that after a while, but I'll just speak
Oh, really?
extemporaneously.
I didn't
What?
play mine because I thought it would be cheating to play mine.
Okay, I won't play mine. I won't play mine. I
Wow.
will. I'm not stuck in the. You're welcome to play yours, but okay, all right, fine. I won't play mine. Doesn't matter. I can talk about my character regardless. So Ragna
No, if
is.
your voice hurts, it's fine.
It's mostly because my voice is shit today, but no, it's fine. I'll just cough through it. Ragna is the she's
I'm a
the
terrible friend.
main so terrible. The main love interest, but a very turbulent love interest of the group. So as I mentioned, Cosmere is my main character, and Cos met Ragna shortly after the destruction of his hometown. After he escaped Dorvo, his hometown, he was a sole survivor. He was just an 11-year-old boy, and she was among the shamans who saved Cosmere. And actually, it was Ragna's grandmother who healed Casimir, saved his life, and that's how he met her. And they're very close in age, so they kind of grew up together after that. Even though Casimir was raised with a hunter, after that he was kind of adopted by a hunter character. Ragna, they were in proximity, like they would visit the hermitage where Ragna lived with her grandmother all the time. So they knew each other, and so that's how Ragna eventually comes to become part of the core group. She joins the group in book 2, Fiendish chapter 2. So she grew up in Thalfren, which is, as I mentioned, a shamanic hermitage, and it belongs to a long line of powerful Ispaliad shamans. And Ispaliad are these extra powerful, they're like this extra powerful ethnicity. They're kind of a separate human race, kind of not. They are, but they have like different abilities. Anyways, and so they're distinct culturally, and she has a special heritage that's different than most other humans, and she has that innate talent because of her lineage. So she comes from a long lineage of shamans. She grew up being trained to be a shaman. She's very naturally powerful, and because of that lineage and that natural power and that talent that she has high aspirations for herself. We'll find out later on in the story that you can kind of tell, and when we meet her in book 2, she's kind of not particularly pleasant all the time. Like she cares a lot for Casimir, but she's also very demanding. She's kind of bitchy, and to me it's because she grew up not with like everything being easy, not being spoiled, but just she's so talented that she wants everything done now, and she's kind of annoyed when other people aren't competent, aren't as good or as useful, and she kind of does have a lot of a superiority complex because of her heritage. So, for example, in my world, the dev, which is what Yomi is, this is a separate non-human race in my world. They are all slaves. They're essentially a slave race on the continent that Fiendish takes place in. And Ragna is super disdainful towards Yomi, even though Yomi is a free woman, technically, and she is part of the party. Ragna's a complete bitch and treats her like she's beneath her. And I knew it would be a risk to write not just one main character who's an asshole, but two. And Ragna particularly has a lot of problems and is kind of terrible. But it's for a reason. It's because of her background. It's specifically, we'll find out, it's also because of how it's because she aspires to be part of the system. And as you read Fiendish, you'll find out a lot of it is about, well, this is what is expected in the certain societal system that the story takes place in. And Ragna wants to be an arch shaman. So how do I explain this? The shamanic system in Arvos is like an organized scholastic thing. There's a center of the shamanic order that's in this place called Malkenka, and arch shamans are at the top of it. So it's essentially like people that have 5 PhDs. They have a lot of scholastic control, but also a lot of soft power control. They're essentially the center of soft power on the entire continent, and Ragna aspires to become one of them. And because of that, she will do things to play into the system, and she will do things to that perhaps would be seen as immoral by her friends or by us as readers. But to her, as long as she can obtain power, at least at the start of the story, it's all worth it. Even if she feels uneasy, even if she has to throw away certain things like a normal life with a family and with love, even if she rubs her friends the wrong way, even if she sometimes puts off even Casimir, who she obviously cares for. She, at the beginning of the story, she will do almost anything for power because for reasons that I'll reveal later, she thinks that's the only way to preserve certain other things that she cares about, to take care of her grandmother and to take care of her lineage and to honor her lineage. So, and the central question behind her character, her arc will be, well, is it worth it? What is the price of power? And are all the sacrifices that she's making correct? And will she regret it? We'll find out as we continue reading the story. Da, da, da.
Da, da, da.
The quest for power. Yeah. That's my ending sound.
Your ending. There you
go. That's my ending sound, yes. Ragna has big goals. Yeah. Her big goals are why everybody likes her so much. Yep. Oh, Bum Appreciator says they're interested. I'm glad. Poor Yomi. Yeah, Yomi kind of gets the short end of the stick a lot, but that's how the world is. Especially in book 3. I feel really bad. But it's all for a reason. Dango Soul asks, does she ever resent being pushed into the shamanistic arts? No. I think to her, sorry, it's kind of I toyed around with that idea for a bit, but I don't think so. I think she finds that an essential part of herself. Like, she grew up with this, and especially because she lost her mother pretty young, and we'll get into that story later on in Fiendish. And her mother was also a shaman. She sees what she's doing as a way of honoring her mother and honoring her grandmother who raised her. And there are also certain other people in her family that have done my voice is terrible. Done things with the shamanic arts that are less than honorable, as Malkenka would see it and as society would see it. That's all I'll say for now. And to her, she also wants to redeem that part of her lineage. So for multiple reasons, that's why she's so invested in becoming a shaman. And she also happens to be very naturally talented at it. So she doesn't resent it. And actually, her grandmother didn't push her. That's a primary conflict that we'll see going forward is she wasn't. Her grandmother actually doesn't want her to chase power. She thinks this is all stupid. She wishes Ragna would live a settled, normal life and not go kiss ass with a bunch of essentially scholar politicians. But Ragna thinks otherwise, and that'll come up in chapter 3. So there you go.
There you go.
Fiendish 1.5, the quest for funding. Not yet, but maybe I will do a 1.5, yes. How much time per day does Ragna spend studying? It depends. I don't know. Okay, so when we meet her, it's just a little hard to talk about without spoiling, but it's not big spoilers because I don't have to like reveal the big reveals that come in chapter 3. I've already mentioned this in my Ragna video anyway, so it's fine. At the beginning of Fiendish, and we don't really find out until chapter 3, but Ragna is working on her. It's a thesis paper, but I don't call it a thesis because that's too real worldy. But she has to go on. It's kind of like a quest, but that's not really necessary. The point is to begin your arch shaman training. To be considered a shaman has to write a dissertation, and kind of it's a long process of writing papers, getting it approved by the Arch Shaman Council, and writing more papers and proving a series of discoveries for it's like a 10-year long process of proving yourself as a scholar and being vetted over and over again. And that's what Ragna is trying to embark on right now. But she's having trouble finding a suitable subject to study. And the reason she ends up coming along with the group is because the demons that have now resurfaced, that destroyed Cosmere's village, and by the way, mysteriously disappeared for 9 years. Nobody saw them, and for some reason, don't know why, they're now showing up again. These demons are not well understood creatures. Nobody actually knows what they are. So she thinks that is a possible subject for her to begin her studies on, and a bunch of other reveals in chapter 3. But that's why she joins the group, and it's kind of like a more active thing. She's more in a higher level. She's not just like studying other shamans' works, but she's trying to invent something herself. Like in this whole PhD process, it's about inventing new runes or discovering new creatures or discovering like new magic systems, and that's like the level that she's operating on. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. Does it? There you go.
Totally.
Ali sounds unimpressed. I apologize.
What? Don't do that.
It's like a research study mixed with a quest. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. With Casimir, it's like a battle quest, right? But it's personal for him because for him, that's his hometown that was destroyed. So he's emotionally tied to this, and he's a frontliner that's killing demons up close and all that stuff. And but for Ragna, it's mostly an intellectual thing. Like she does want to help Casimir, even though she probably would say it in a really bitchy way, because she's like that. But definitely a little tsundere. But it's very much a research process, which I want to tie in to the story and the presentation. So as the story progresses, we'll get more little tidbits of the story from Ragna's point of view. And she'll talk about, well, this is what we've discovered. This is the type of demon that we've encountered. This is how I'm categorizing them. And I'm hoping to have some supplemental content of her writings or notes or stuff. So hopefully that'll be pretty cool to have with the next book. Yeah. Any new demon art? Yes, but I can't show you. When do you think you'll tackle the demon's origins? Chapter 3. You'll find out a lot. A lot. Well, you'll find out what they are.
Not too much time to go.
No, it'll probably be a while. Because I have not had time to draw very much. It sucks. I have a lot of other commitments, guys. A lot of other art to do. But yeah, chapter 3 is all laid out, and I have it lettered. I just have to draw it. But yeah, I don't want to launch a campaign until I have most of the inks done at least, which is why it's going to be a while. But I think that's right. I think it's only right to not make the backers wait too long. So yeah, there you go. Ragna's Research Supplemental. Yeah. Oh, D-King says, found you through Ink Pulp. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Sean is awesome. Shout out to Sean Crystal. He was my professor, by the way, Ink Pulp. He's great. I got to catch up with him at Heroes. It was lovely. Read the first 26 pages of issue 1. I really loved it. Thank you. I'm so glad you liked it. Thank you for being here. Is Ragna the one with the prominent derriere? Oh, yeah, I guess I should be showing more of the art. Ragna's such a nerd. Yes, she is. I will pull up more art of her, but also my throat feels like shit, so give me a second. I'll be right back.
She's just like, I hand you the channel without even giving some sort of ceremony of handing me the channel.
I hand you the channel. This is the official ceremony. Bye.
Woo! Sweet. Done. I can't click on anybody's chat to highlight it, but I am definitely here. I can definitely read. Solo, that'd be cool. Like offering a version of Ragna's journal as an add-on. Do you realize how much work that would be? I think Renie would love to do it, but it's a lot of work probably. With my bet. Rachel, I have no power. My power is very small. Whose magic is stronger? Ali's or Sajal or Ragna? I wonder who would win in a fight. Golly. That's a good question because I'm not sure either Renie or myself would need to be in charge of that because we're both quite biased and it might be cheating since we know all of our magics inside and out. And what we'd have to do is make sure that we were only writing what our character could actually do. No, the spelling is Sajaul. Sajal. So, we've talked about this before, and that's actually how Renie and I started talking, was I, too, have created a language for my book, and we both did this totally separately. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've literally never met anyone before that was that interested in languages that they made one. So I was like, Renie, we should talk. And she was like, okay. And so
it wasn't like that. I was like, oh my gosh, you also created a language. That's awesome. Let's talk.
I was trying to make you not. I was trying to make you not sound like a spurg.
Oh, I am, so it's fine.
But it's okay. She's a spurg and I'm a spurg, and we spurg together about languages. And so, all of my characters, I actually had to do this recently. All of my characters' names kind of have to conform to the language that I made. And I recently changed one of my characters' names because I realized it didn't. And it hurts, but it had to be done. Yeah.
That's yeah, that's very well thought out. My characters, some of their names, like, well, Casimir is a real world name. Iskal actually does mean something in Inarsa, but Yomi is also just made up. Ragna is just made up. I just thought it sounded really cool, and her name has been around the longest actually, but so it's kind of a mix. But yeah, it's cool that all your names are actually in world.
Someone asked if who would win, Sajal or Ragna.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't think
I
I
don't
know
know.
enough
I feel like
about.
someone else would have to decide it for us.
Yeah, you have to wait until, well, I don't think either of our works are completed enough to answer that question yet. Like, you'll have to see
No.
Ragna do more of her magic, and well, rune casting, that's what the magic system is called. It's a whole system of study. It's like your magic is more instinctive and emotional, and
Mm-hmm.
the system I have in Fiendish is very, at least for humans, because every species in my world has a different magic system. Because I like pain. But the one for humans and Ispiliad, which is what Ragna is. She's a race called Ispiliad. She's there, it's like intellectual. You have to calculate things. So here, speaking of rear ends, this is why I pulled this up. But when she's casting a rune like that, that is her casting a whole calculation. And when Ragna casts, most of the time, if it's a simple effect that's really straightforward, she doesn't have to make that many marks because she's trained something called a knack. It's a shorthand of a pre-calculated equation, but most shamans can't cast as fast as her. This is why she's so talented. Not just because she can cast more elements because it's an elemental system. It's in the back of chapter 2. So, and I'll have it on the website sooner or later, but it's like life and death, let's see, heat and cold, and then the 4 elements of matter those are the 8 domains, and then the mind domain is in the middle. So that's where like suggestion runes and sleep runes are, because it's controlling consciousness energy. So anyways, but most shamans have to write out the whole equation in a certain pattern around a rune shape and construct it, and it takes forever. But Ragna doesn't have to do that all the time. So that's why she's like a battle mage, which is very, very hard to train for. And there's like multiple reasons why. That's why she comes along, because she's like hella useful.
So Sajal would be doing like brute force magic that just is like blasts of energy, for lack of a better word. And then Ragna's doing like complicated spells that could like knock her out or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they would both have pretty powerful magic. It's more about, well, being able to tell what the other person is doing and countering it, honestly. I think that would be the main
Sajal
hurdle.
wouldn't be able to tell at all.
Yeah.
She can just keep throwing it.
Yeah, that would be pretty shocking for Ragna, because she doesn't come from a world where like most people can do that. Oh, but yeah, I thought, here you go. There's more of Ragna. There's a very.
Oh, that's not a butt.
Yeah, but you know, it's also, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know why I pulled this up. There's no but. I just felt compelled to show a very nondescript illustration of Ragna. Hope you guys like it though. Yeah, I figured I'd share it anyways. Share it anyways. D King asks, is there a trade of the first set of issues? There is no trade paperback yet, but you can get all 3 issues on the website. They are basically trade size though. Because chapter 1 is 50 pages, chapter 2 is 65, 67 pages. So I do about 1 book a year to year and a half. So like it's not a monthly schedule. So and chapter 2.5 is the only one is 25 pages. That's more of like a normal comic size. So yeah, these are large chapters because I wanted to present Fiendish more like I wanted to feel like this is a fantasy novel. It's just illustrated as a comic. It's like an illustrated fantasy novel. So I felt like larger chapters with more story content in each installment would lend better to that sort of approach. But also I kind of like the European publishing model where you can deliver a larger chunk of a story like once a year. Though I can break it down to like smaller chunks. But anyways, so that's available on the website, fiendishcomic.com. But a trade should be coming out soon. I am hoping to have a trade on either Amazon Print on Demand or some other service sometime this year. So that is coming. Time to promote the website. Yes, I did that. Thank you very much. Thought it was short for Ragnarok. No, it's short for Rhaenyra. And I do also like the name Ragnar, which is obviously that's a guy's name. But I don't think, as far as I know, Ragna is a real Nordic name. I just like the sound of it. Like one day I was just like, what if I did a female version of Ragnar? Ooh, Ragna sounds cool. And then I made it Rhaenyra to make it sound... I felt like she's from this fancy lineage of shamans. She would have a more of a... like an official sounding name. So Ragna's a nickname. Her full name is Rhaenyra Rayava Frigredivia. And by the way, so the full names of the characters are in the character profile videos that I do. And in Arvos, they don't have surnames usually. They use patronymics and matronymics and sometimes avonymics. Avonymics that's a grandparent's name. So, Rayava means daughter of Rhea. Frigredivia is granddaughter of Frigred, which is Frigi's full name. So you can tell that lineage. And same with Casimir's full name, but I'll get to that later because I will do Casimir for my male character. There you go.
I did something similar with some of my female names, but not with Sajal since she's feral and her mom doesn't actually have a name. But normally the women, they have their middle name is their mother's first name. It's not as exciting and intricate as yours, but I did something similar.
No, it doesn't. I mean, the whole like patronymic, avonymic name thing, it's kind of overly complicated, but I'm like, it's realistic. I wanted realism. Like there's this whole... oh gosh, I got just really into naming systems one day. So in for men and women, it's kind of like how Russian patronymics are kind of like if you're the son of Alexei, it's like Alexiev, or I don't. I'll use Ivanov. But if you're the daughter of Ivan, it's Ivanova. So depending on like if you're the son or daughter and you're referring to your mother, those are different words. And if you're a man and you're referring to your mother or your father, it's all different. It's a little complicated, but a person's full name will tell you like you're their son or the daughter of whoever. And there's also the concept of a secret name, which is a real concept from a lot of cultures. It's the idea that if you know the true name of an object, you have control over it. So characters have a secret name that are only given to the gods and their family, and you're not supposed to give it to anyone unless you trust them with your life. So that also exists. And I don't even know that'll come up in the story, but it's there because I thought it's a cool concept. And some cultures do have that. A hardcover deluxe edition. Someday. Oh, I was sharing this. There you go. I forgot. And there's something else up.
We started saying in the chat to call her Ragna.
I am shocked that has not come up until now. That's amazing. Ovich Ova. Right. There you go. Thank you, Michael. My name blanked on that. My sister's name is Freya. That's awesome. Oh, there's a Ragnar. That's great. Hello, Ragnar. Freya's a great name too.
It's a thing now, says Cece. Yep, she's Ragna,
Yes,
and
it
there's
is.
nothing you can do about it.
I'm fine with that. But yeah, I think that
Ragnas, nice.
Ragnas. Someone said she doesn't look like she has that much of an ass. She's definitely, I think it's just proportionally I made her really, really busty. So it doesn't look like she has that much of an ass, but she does. She's got a nice ass. She's just she's
Renie's
not
gotta
balanced.
sell. Renie's gotta sell stuff, you guys.
I do. But listen, there's the whole, like, I don't want to go on a whole tangent talking about this, but like, I made Ragna really voluptuous for a reason. And it's not just because I want to sell books, because I do want to sell books, but I specifically was like, she's my smart character. And because the early iterations of her, she was more, I did so many iterations of the character, but I have a sketch. It's actually in the back of Fiendish 1 in the extra contents, where you can see this really tiny, like, marker sketch of Ragna and like a big check mark next to it. That was when I was like, that's the design. Nailed it. And the whole, like, low cut, big chest, that fur cloak, the dress with like a slit down the side. I'm like, perfect. And she had more wild hair at the time, but anyways, but I designed her the way I did because I'm kind of annoyed that I feel like there's obviously in modern culture there seems to be a lot of aversion to conventionally attractive women in some circles, and that rubs me the wrong way because I think female beauty is power. It's not depowering, it's not objectifying, just to have a beautiful woman. And I think Ragna herself would be proud of how she looks. It doesn't take away from her intelligence. It doesn't take away from her achievement. It doesn't mean she's a slut, because she's not. She's just beautiful and she's proud of how she looks. And that's totally fucking fine. So, yeah, I like having eye candy for my book, but I also wanted to make a point, like, the having brains and an intelligent and compelling and well fleshed out female character is not mutually exclusive with them being conventionally beautiful. There you go. My lecture's over. I have thoughts.
my lecture's over. Yeah. Thoughts are a thing we have.
Yeah, I have opinions. Sometimes maybe I should shut up about them more. I really should. I do apologize.
No,
but don't.
dude, we've
I
never
don't
shut up in our
apologize.
entire life.
Yeah, I don't. I say whatever I want.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna say she has
DVD.
no
I'm sorry to hear that, and I really do mean it when I say that it does get better. It sounds like you might still be in high school. He was saying, he or she, I guess, was saying that they were bullied in school, and that this stream is like making their day better. It absolutely does get better once you get out of school. Because people in school are idiots, and you're kind of stuck in a prison, and that prison brain, like, is a real thing, and it kids do it. So try not to let it get you down. Go outside a lot, and read. And I'm glad to hear that we're somehow helping. Finishing 10th grade, that's really hard. And I understand. Renie and I both were bullied for different reasons.
Yep.
She got Asian bullying.
Oh, yeah.
A whole other thing.
I don't know. Asian bullying is weird, but still, we're. I think most artists, writers, were like the weird kids in school. There's no way around it. But yeah, no, it does get better. I've never actually thought of the idea that school is basically prison, but you're absolutely right. It's this small ecosystem with like these strict it's almost like the whole clique thing. It's this mafia hierarchy, and also keep in mind, uh, add that confined space on top of all these hormones and a bunch of people whose brains haven't solidified and often much less than stellar adult supervision, and it's just a clusterfuck. So if you're being bullied, first of all, how you're being treated, how other people treat you, don't take that as a reflection of your self-worth. Like that doesn't mean you deserve it. So that's obviously the first thing to remember.
Yeah.
Um,
The best, the best.
oh, yeah.
Sorry. I thought you were
No,
done. Sorry.
oh no, it's fine. I was just gonna mention, I'm sure you probably heard this before, but it helped me to realize that a lot of people bully because they're insecure, and it's a compensation mechanism. So it's all about power, and they need to have power over others to feel better about themselves. And honestly, that's quite pathetic and small. And that's why I hate bullies, not just because they hurt others, because they're pathetic. So I'm sorry you're going through that, but it will absolutely get better when you get out into the real world and people don't behave like savages because they need to be part of civilization. And what'll be great is when you get out into the real world, all the people that were the worst bullies, they're usually the failures, because everyone will realize what narcissistic psychopaths they are and won't want to deal with them. So it's the people that were being bullied that'll be successful, because they're the ones that aren't causing trouble and probably have more empathy because they went through shit. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll be built up. It's going to be real important to get outside. Getting outside is going to make you feel great. Going for walks, going for bike rides, going for hikes, like even if you're alone, it's going to help your mind so much to reset, especially today when all of those people in your school are looking at a screen all day, constantly. And what that's done to their minds is absolutely insane. It is actually literally physically changed the brains of children and made them crazy. So it's going to be really important for you to get out. Like I'm really glad you're watching this and that it's helping you for sure. But you're going to be a million times ahead of all of these weird peers that have no ability to function in the real world because they're stuck on their screens. If you just go outside and you'll be healthier, you'll feel better. Like the real world and the internet right now are so far apart that it's laughable. You spend a day doing something outside in the real world and it's going to feel like your whole life is better now. Like it's actually quite shocking. So definitely get out and do that. It's going to be a million times better the second you graduate, honestly, because all of those people who suck, they're all going to scatter away. You know, you won't hear of them again for the most part. And then when you do, it's going to be they got their comeuppance because they're assholes.
Yeah, they're in prison, or they're
sorry,
I don't know, in a drug den or some shit. I'm not even. That's that's just
but that's part of why I homeschool my kid, because of that. So just know, not to sound all grown-uppy and stuff, but like it does get better. You will feel better once you're out of school. All of these idiots are going to be scared, and you're going to think of this little lecture that you got from us that you didn't ask for, and you're going to be like, wow, I'm super glad that they told me that this wasn't going to last. For sure.
Well,
so
it's important, especially you're mentioning this. That's fucked up. And so first of all, that story, fuck those people. And if you're having people that aren't sticking up for you, it could feel very lonely. And I know exactly what it's like for teachers to not do anything and kind of be like, well, it'll toughen you up, or it's somehow your fault. Like, why don't you stop doing the things? I'll get you. I don't know. Like, I don't know if this applies, but if they lock you in a dumpster and only got a talking to, that's terrible. But again, how other people treat you does not. It's not your fault or a reflection on your self-worth. It's a reflection on them. So it'll get better.
Yeah, and that is absolutely fucked up.
That is.
I don't like cursing around kids, but so I apologize.
Yeah, now I'm suddenly like, oh, I should watch my language more, even though like 10th grade isn't that young. But like, that's
I'm like,
that is
this person's only a year older from my kid. Like, oh no, I gotta.
Yeah, I remember 10th grade is not that young, but yeah, like. Now, we're not that crazy on this show. It'll be fine.
DVD was told they'll grow out of it. They won't grow out of it. You know what'll happen? They'll be the same forever, but people will notice. People will notice, and they will drop them like flies, and they'll be miserable and alone and die alone, and no one will care when they're dead.
Like,
I wrote a book about that.
That's great. That it's like no one will care when my bullies are dead.
No one will mourn their death.
That is really true. I think
it'll just become different bullying.
That they'll grow out of it is very stupid, because the whole reason that kids, especially at that age, are still being bullies and still behaving that way is because adults have made those excuses for them all their lives over and over again and not disciplined them. Oh, they'll grow out of it. Oh, I don't have to do anything. Oh, I don't need to, punish them. They'll grow out of it. No, that's not how people work. Some people just have issues, and if you don't correct it, they don't naturally grow out of it. They have to be taught, and frankly, after a certain age, it's too late. They won't grow out of it, but the good news is the real world will not treat that kind of behavior kindly.
No, it's when I make the comparison of prison, it's the same thing. People in prison do not act the same as they do when they're out. Ali has the best motivational speeches. It is what it is. But yeah, that would be my advice is get outside, move around. That'll make you stronger and it'll reset your brain. You feel better, and then just remember that it will be over. I know it feels like forever. It felt like forever when I was in high school, but it'll be over as like sooner than you know. It'll be over, and you'll be in the real world where most people actually aren't that bad, and the ones who are that bad are shunned. So yeah,
yep, agreed.
Or they all gather together and they're in like little crappy groups together, and everyone hates the whole group over them. So
yeah, and you just let them fester in their little groups. And,
don't give up hope, TV.
Definitely.
And try and eat well. Take some vitamins. That'll help you too.
Oh God, social media does make everything worse now.
It does.
Oh my God. Like, fucking kids should be banned from social media until like 20. That's my honest opinion. I'm very sorry to hear that.
You know what, DVD? I know someone who has made, not that you should do this, but I know someone who has made jumping out of a dumpster and being in a dumpster basically their career now.
Are you talking about D-Wag?
I'm talking about D-Wag.
D-Wag!
He's hilarious and everyone loves him, and that's his thing. So you can tell them that, you know what? Some people who are in dumpsters are kind of freaking cool. So shut up. I don't know.
Yeah.
Actually, DVD. Have you ever
are crazy.
seen The Neverending Story? The movie The Neverending Story? Because the beginning of that movie has a bunch of little jackass 1980s bullies that chase our cute little main character and lock him into a dumpster. And you know what happens? He's the freaking hero. And what he does is he finds this magical book, and through the book, he is able to escape and become better than all of his bullies. So, yeah, go watch friggin' the Neverending Story DVD, and then also read the book because it's amazing. Seriously. The Neverending Story, the movie from the 80s. There's other stuff that they did later, but yeah. I'm still
Very
watching it because
motivational.
the story doesn't end. Dude, I hate public school. That's why I'm a homeschool mom. And I will tell kids all day what I think will help them because I think it's a crime to have public school. I really do. I hate it. But
it's pretty
and watch Death Note, says Hail the Lord. You know, you only know the horse scene? Oh my gosh, you only know a meme. You've got to watch it. Like, it's totally appropriate, so no one can be mad at me.
I can't have any input because I have still yet to watch it, but I trust Ali's judgment.
Yeah, watch and that. It has the greatest special effects. No nasty CG there. Freaking yes. Go watch that.
Yeah, Ali loves Neverending Story. Loves it. Talks about it all the time.
Great. Anyway, do we even have time to do 2 more characters now?
I don't know. I don't think we do. I think we can go over it real quick. We can go over
the boys next time.
You want to do that?
Yeah, we'll do the boys next time. Because you didn't want it. TC's down there about to make me cry quoting the movie.
Aww. D-Wag is Darren Wagner. Yeah, that's him. Yeah. No, he literally lives in a dumpster, and he's great. We all love him.
Yeah. Don't start a YouTube channel, and don't do that. You're a kid. Don't do that.
No, don't. Seriously. Man, if social media, honestly, if all social media could just be nuked, that would be great. But especially for young people, that
get off TikTok, get off Facebook. Yeah. You can still watch our channel. I don't let my kid watch my stuff, but
read inspirational comics. Read comics. That was my escape. That's how I, you know, I mean, I grew up in a household with a ton of books and no television. So I grew up reading a lot and not consuming the same type of entertainment as most kids my age, which is kind of why I was always the weird one. But my escape was, well, it was manga because I grew up in Taiwan, but I had like no friends. I had a couple friends, but they were all other anime nerds. And I would go to the manga bookstore after school because we had those in Taiwan. They're like comic shops, but you rent the comics instead of buying them. You can just rent them and read them there, which is like great.
A library.
I loved it. It's like a library. It's a manga library. So after school, instead of doing my homework, I would tell my mom I was going to the library to do my homework, but I wasn't. I was going to the manga store. Don't do that. Don't be like me in that respect, but definitely do your homework. But also, consume wholesome media. And that's why I love manga so much, because there is so much, especially shonen stuff, is super wholesome, is super inspirational. It's made to inspire young people. The age range is school age kids, right? And to me, that was just perfect. It's like, and a lot of the stories, even, I remember a lot of the stories are underdog stories, even stories like Naruto. Well, he starts out as the weirdo. He starts out as the one he's putting on a face, but it's because he has a traumatic past. He doesn't know where he comes from, and he has these big aspirations, but he's kind of a pain in the ass, but he's acting out because he has to deal with a lot. And that was all so relatable to me, and that's why a lot of these stories are relatable. So anyways, I found joy in escapism, and that helped me. And now I'm making comics because that stuff helped me so much. So I want to do the same for someone else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yay.
We don't have time for more characters. I want to, but I don't. I think I'll just like
We'll
my
do the
voice
boys
will just
next time.
implode. Yeah,
We
my
need,
voice will implode.
there was need in the chat for us to give a motivational speech, and so we have done it.
Oh, it was good, but also I think we you know, I took more time than I expected, but it was good because there is so much to talk about, and I wanted to cover, we take little segues into world building and the magic system, but it's more natural that way. I don't want to rush these streams or discussions. And honestly, it's been a while since we've talked about our characters and our stories.
I don't think we've ever really gone into depth for our characters at all, because we're always just trying to say like, hey, these are our little tips and this is why you do it and here's stuff to read and stuff.
Yeah, it's we early on we did a few shows on, well, this is my magic system and these are the weapons in my, well, we didn't do the weapons. We have to do weapons someday.
We did
I
not.
don't think no, we haven't done weapons. But we did a few shows talking about our stories, but for a while it's been more, well, let's talk technique. So I mean, yeah, I'm enjoying this. So next time we'll talk about one male character each, and that'll be on Ali's channel. This show is every other Friday, so
Every
it'll
other
be two
Friday.
Fridays from now. Yes, every other Friday.
So
that
it will be
be
not on the 5th. It will be on the
12th. 12th, yeah. The day before the auction. So auction on the 13th. And catch us again on the 12th on Ali's channel. And yeah, there's the playlist underneath, but also, well, you can follow the playlist, but if you want to catch us live, follow both of us. You can follow me at Renie Draws on Twitter, and of course here. Subscribe to my channel so you'll be notified. And also follow Ali because it'll actually be on hers. Ding.
Yeah. And I have a bunch of writing stuff, and I'm doing character profiles slowly. They're not as fancy as Renie's because she has the abilities of an artist and I do not. But I've given it my shot, so that if you want, you can go check that out. I'm doing more and more all the time, adding stuff to my website and all that jazz. Yeah. Go sub to me and watch all my videos and all that stuff. I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna start reading short like mystery and horror stuff for all of my members. So yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I was on a good streak of making content for my channel, then I kind of fell off, but I do still have a few more of my Talking Fiendish, that whole series that's scheduled. I need to get back to making shorts, but
because I'm paranoid, please ask your parents to look at my content. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely vet that stuff. I think 10th grade is okay for Fiendish. It is a little gory though, so just be warned. Yeah. Yes. we try to be responsible adults.
We're responsible.
Unlike some people, honestly. I'm so glad to hear.
That's good to hear. Come back again. We are full of positivity.
Yeah, I hope to see you back here every time. And I mean, I hope if you're into writing and world building and all that stuff, then I hope this helps you too. So I'm very happy that you're here. Yeah, definitely.
Why are you awake at 2 a.m.? You should be in bed.
That too. Okay, maybe they're in California. Health, so it's okay. So I'll let it slide this one. Let's pretend they're in California. I want to show one thing.
But Romy, that's not Dick Van Dyke. Are you serious? Ridiculous. That's friggin' Kiefer Sutherland's father. He just died.
I don't know who that is. So
he was the president in the Hunger Games for like the younger people.
I was
right. No, oh, you poor thing. I'm so sorry you're in California. My heart goes out to you.
You'll escape soon. You'll be able to escape soon enough.
Yeah, send me a copy, Solo. I don't have a... Were you the one who was asking about a P.O. box? I do not have a P.O. box. But you can email me or send me a DM, and I'll just give you an address that you can send it to. That's Dick Van Dyke. It doesn't even look like Dick Van Dyke. It looks like Kiefer Sutherland's dad. Weird. I am so sorry. I messed up. DVD, Dick Van Dyke. I apologize. I was wrong. I thought it was Donald Sutherland. I did. I'm a fail. I know. I failed.
You fail everything.
Renie is not in California. DVD is in California. Renie is very, very safely not in California.
Yeah, I'm in. Everybody knows where I am. I'm in Georgia.
Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's like 4 or 5 hours from me.
Yep.
Yeah, we're like neighbors.
Like totally by America standards, we are
totally twinsies.
Golly, Elmer emphasizes this. I will try to bring more. Well, no, we're going to be talking about the boys, so
the boys
probably significantly less ass, but I will provide abs and pecs. Because I mean,
for the 5 female fans that we have together.
I know, yeah. It's like I know I have like a majority male audience. I'm like, listen, I'm drawing my comic. Of course, I'm gonna make my main character very handsome.
You're like, I've gotta like what I'm doing too, guys.
Yeah, like
I gotta enjoy
something for everybody. Okay, something for everybody.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I want to pull this up because this was the whole reason we decided to do the character thing. So I'm not gonna like go on and talk about it, but the page that Casimir has.
Oh, the page.
Okay, so
selected 5 female fans. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, actually, I know Fiendish is kind of aimed more at a male audience. It is aimed more at a male audience, but a lot of women do like it. Like when I bring it onto a show floor, I think maybe it's just YouTube and like where I've marketed it. It's kind of YouTube is mostly male, but yeah, I don't know. A lot of women like it when I bring it to shows. Anyways, dun dun dun. Look at that! Oh my gosh, isn't this awesome? I'm so happy. I can. Okay, so the person who set this up is in chat. Can I shout you out? Because I always ask before I shout people out. But thank you very much. I'm super appreciative of this. This is awesome. This is Casimir's page on the Heroes Wiki. And I did not even know this was being put together. I did not, in fact, put this together. Someone else did. Yes, it was TC. TC, who is Rochi on Chi, ROCIONCII on Twitter. There you go. On Twitter, go follow them. Thank you so much. I was wondering why Rochi was asking about Casimir's full name. Like, what's his full legal name? The other day, I was like, oh, lo and behold, they got all of his information on this page here. But look at that. Isn't that awesome? I'm so proud of this, and I'm very, very grateful that this exists now. Thank you. So I'll pull that up. Next time we can go over it in detail, and also, of course, he has a profile on the website, so I'll talk about that and maybe reveal a couple of little things that haven't been revealed yet. So that's all I wanted to show that. I'm really proud of it.
I'm going to talk about yet, because I wanted to talk about someone I haven't talked about much, because I've talked about my sociopath a lot.
You have, yeah.
So I thought maybe I should move on. So I was like, do I talk about my comedian guy? Should I talk about the wizard himself? Like, I don't know. I haven't decided. So
Yeah, I want to talk about other characters, but it's, again, take a shot, too spoilery.
Well, it's not
I
too
don't know.
spoilery for mine. So
Yeah.
I should be talking more about my characters, which is why it's so funny. You were like, I've been thinking about doing character profiles, and I was like, crap, me too.
That's
It was
fine.
like the same time, and I was just like, great.
Listen, great minds think alike.
That's true.
Great minds think
TC
alike.
says the wizard intrigues him. All right,
You
I'll do the
should.
wizard then. It's not. I don't
The
have a
wizard
single
is great.
character that doesn't have. Well, I have a couple characters that don't have absolutely terrible things happen to them. But the wizard baby paste.
Oh yeah, you can talk about AB paste. I like the contrast between, I'm like, oh, I'm doing dark fantasy, and Ellie's, I'm doing dark fantasy too, and I'm here like, yeah, demons, mummifying people and shit, and Allie's like, baby paste. It's like different levels of dark fantasy.
There's levels.
There's levels of it. But yeah. Yeah, do the wizard.
I do not condone baby paste. It was used in terrible ways, and I do not condone what my character did with those babies. It's bad. Don't do that.
You disavow baby paste.
I disavow my characters and their actions. Very disappointing.
Okay. Now that we've made that clear. On that note, on that disavowal, Billy Powermax is he's back, but we're ending the stream. But thank
Just
you
in
for
time. Bye.
Yeah, I know. No, we gotta leave, and I need to go. Maybe take some more cold medicine. But yeah, see you all next time. Be sure to hit like. That'll help. That'll help my channel as I slowly get back into the groove of things. And yeah, I'll see you all next show, next week. Next week for Creative Block, and then for the Ali Renie show on the 12th. All right. Bye, y'all. Boop, 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 boop. Goodbye. Where's the outro? Bye.